Hi there, my name is Button Thesaurus. I am the Guildmaster of Dragonfire. We are a top 50 guild, currently ranked 51. But this is not a recruiting video. Rather, this is a video about the Hero Wars Players Union. And the reason I'm making this video is to organize the players, the player base, to come join the Hero Wars Players Union and to help us oppose the new updates. The Totem Fusion update and also the League Arena or whatever it's called. They haven't done it on my server, so I don't know as much about it as others, but from what I can tell from everyone that has experienced it, they hate it. Just like every other update Nexters does, it's just about money. It's not about improving the game. It's not about making it better. It's just about trying to squeeze as much blood as they can from our veins. So now, the Totem Fusion. If they do this update, it's going to irrevocably break the game. It's going to destroy the player base. There's going to be more players that quit than ever before. And let me explain why. So in order to get these other abilities, right? If we want to add another ability to my Earth Spirit Totem, if I want to have it be able to have the ability of fire, I have to have an extra totem. I have to have all 30 totems, fragments, right? And then get a 31st totem fragment and gamble with it to try and get the ability. Notice I said gamble. That's one of the things about this Totem Fusion that people are objecting to the most. Also, a lot of the players that have 30 fragments already, they want to be able to trade in their extra fragments for 200,000 gems. You won't be able to do that anymore. But the reason why this, the two main reasons why this update is going to destroy the game is because for regular players like myself, I'm never going to be able to do it. Look, I have 19 totem fragments. I've been playing for 3.5 years, and I have 19 totem fragments. All right, so when am I going to have 30? Another 2.5 more years? All right, so by then, if I keep playing that long, by then I'll be so far behind it won't even. The update will make me obsolete. It will obsolete me and obsolete all of the regular players like myself. Okay? I won't be able to play anymore. I will be completely ineffective. I'm a Titan expert. I'm one of the best Titan players in the game. But if they do this update, I'll be useless. I'll be as useless as tits on a bowl. And in that case, I'll just quit the game. Now, initially, I thought this update would be something that only players like myself, regular non-millionaire players like myself would oppose, but I'm actually finding out that the whales hate it just as much. And let me explain. We have a player over here in the Players Union. I won't say who it is, just for privacy's sake. But that player spent £50,000 on the game. £50,000. That's like $60,000 in dollars. That is a ton of money. That's pretty insane, right? Well, for a whale who spent $60,000, why would they care about this update? They can just spend more, right? But that's the problem. So not only would this update obsolete me, a regular player like myself, it obsoletes the whales. All the people that have spent tens of thousands of dollars are going to be obsoleted, and they will be forced to keep paying money to keep up, right? Otherwise, if they don't spend the extra money to keep up, and if they don't gamble, remember, we have to gamble with these totem fragments to try and get these abilities. We have to gamble. If these whales don't gamble more money, they will also be obsolete. So the £50,000 that guy has spent will be obsolete. It will be nothing. It will be worth nothing after this update. Think about that. People who have spent tens of thousands of dollars are going to be obsoleted by this update and forced to spend money to keep up. And he's in a guild full of whales, and they're all upset about this update because they feel like they're being exploited. Right? It's no longer just a voluntary thing. They have to justify all the money they've spent in the game. They're forced to spend to keep up, and they're tired of being exploited, and they hate it. And consider this again. All of the updates that Nexters does not improve the game. They don't add things that make the game more fun or better or more strategic. No, everything they do is simply to force people to spend more money. They're just exploiting us. It's gotten to an extreme that we cannot any longer tolerate. So look, there shouldn't be a single player in the game that doesn't want to oppose this. Okay, there's always a handful of players that actually think, oh, I think the update's going to be good because, Titans are boring and this will add some intrigue now. Well, let me give one more reason why everyone should oppose this update. This is the best reason, okay? And I'm going to explain this reason by telling my own personal story with Dragon. All right, so I mentioned earlier that I've been playing for 3.5 years. Well, almost 3.5 years. February 9th of 2022. 2 years into the game, my guild had 25 members. Well, 20 members who'd been with the guild almost that entire 2 years. And another 5 members had been with the guild for 1.5 years. All right, so 25 members had been with the guild for at least 1.5 years, if not 2 years. So, I said 2 years. 6 months prior, in June of 2023, Nexters reorganized and they created they rebranded themselves as GDev, and they changed their board around their officers, and it's from that point marks the time when Nexters' greed became just super crazy. So when they reorganized, they became a publicly traded company on the stock exchange. And so therefore they're being driven by profit now. And the first thing they did was they started doing seasons every month. People may not realize, many of you new players may not realize, that seasons were there was just a finite number of seasons. And it wasn't until the summer of 2023 where they started doing seasons every month. And most of us were like, well, okay, well, that sure seems like an escalation of greed, but, we don't have to do it to keep up. It's a voluntary thing. So most of us just kind of shrugged our shoulders and were okay with it. But then they came out with the second season. So we don't just have one season every month. Now we have 2 seasons every month. And then they came out with Mysterious Island. And all of these things require tickets and subscriptions, and hell, during Christmas, there was an advent calendar, right? So we had all these different things now that we could spend money on. And believe it or not, I lost a couple of players because of it, because they felt like they could no longer keep up with the seasons. They couldn't afford to keep buying seasons every month, and they felt like they wouldn't be able to keep up in the game, so they quit. So I lost my first couple of members. And then the next thing they did was they came out with those stupid flags, which was the worst thing they ever did to this game, right? These stupid flags, which totally changed the way the game works, and not in a good way. And when these came out, I lost four more players because people realized this was essentially totems for heroes, and it's also gambling, right? You have to gamble to get the red dot, the red flag version, whatever that it's called. And again, they're going to make us gamble on these totem fragments for these extra abilities. So it's the same sort of thing. And then right after the flags, they came out with where they did an update where they increased the artifacts to level 130, and I lost more players. All right, and so I lost players with all the seasons. I lost players because of the flags. I lost players because of the artifacts. And then they threatened to take away COW, Clash of Worlds, which is the most popular game mode in Hero Wars. It is the game mode that we recruit on. If you go look on the cross server recruiting, it's always based on what your Clash of Worlds ranking is. Nobody cares that whether you kill Osh 5 times or 3 times, or if you're number 1 in Gold League. They care about how good you are in Clash of Worlds. That's what I recruit on. That's the main thing guilds recruit on. Without Clash of Worlds, there'd be no way to recruit. There'd be no way to know how good guilds are. In any case, then they try to come out with the raising the totems to level 7,080 or whatever, 193 or whatever it was. And, that was those two things, COW and raising Titans to 190. That was the straw that broke the camel's back for the player community. That's when I started the Players Union to oppose these updates that are destroying the game. And, they backed down on raising the totems to 193, but they still raised the levels to 130, which is awful. It's been terrible for most players. But when they did that, I lost even more players. Well, the point of all this is to say that in the year and a half that GDev took over the game, or they reorganized under GDev, and they began getting really greedy, is I went from 25 players that had been with the guild for a year and a half to 2 years down to just 4. Myself, Chopin, Salmer, and Crazy. Just 4 of us are all that's left. And it's because of every update that's come out that I've lost players. So at the end of 2023, when I lost the first, 8 players or whatever from these updates, I had to start recruiting other servers. Right? I'm able to see, I have eyes on servers 100 through 210. Right? So I have over 100 servers I can go and recruit from. And in order to keep my guild alive, I have to do it. Otherwise, my guild will die because we just don't have enough players. And there's not enough players on our server anymore to recruit, at least not enough good players or powerful enough players to recruit to maintain our ranking in Clash of Worlds. Now, there was a benefit to recruiting other servers. I became Captain Ahab for a while and was out hunting whales. And I got a lot of whales. And from several different mergers. And that's what enabled us to reach the top 50, right? We've got our red dot because we reached the top 50. But do you know what happened when I recruited those big whales from other guilds? Those other guilds fell apart. All right, after they lost their whales, they couldn't maintain themselves. And now look, I have to recruit, otherwise my guild will be the one that falls apart. And what was the biggest reason that I was able to recruit other guilds? Well, because they had lost players from the updates, right? They were down to 25, 24, 23, 22 players because people are getting mad and quitting the game. So they're no longer viable. So they're looking for a way out to get into a guild where they can continue to grow. For the most part, that's how I find other players from other guilds that are falling apart because they've lost too many players. Is everybody understanding? Is everybody hearing me and understanding what I'm saying? Is that because of these updates, we lose friends. I went from 25 friends down to 4. I've lost over 20 of my original friends because of these updates. And those losses forced me to go recruit other servers, other guilds, and then those guilds collapsed. So the primary problem with all of these updates, even if you like them, even if you're one of those big whales that has, a million, you're a millionaire, you're a Saudi royal, you're a oil tycoon, and you can afford all the, you can afford to spend $100,000 on the game. Even if it doesn't inconvenience you, isn't it at a point where we're tired of seeing our guilds fall apart? I like the players I have right now. I really do. They're really good players. We're in a good place socially right now. But most of the people here in my guild have been in 3 or 4 other guilds before coming here because all those other guilds fell apart. Because they lost too many people from these updates. Do we want to continue to see guilds collapse? Are you guys tired of moving around to 3, 4, 5 guilds? Are you tired of losing your friends? See, we have to start caring about our teammates. We have to start caring about our friends in the game. We need to start standing together to stop the madness. Because another thing, when these guilds fall apart, because players leave, there's a whole another group of players that just quit the game because they're sad, they're depressed, that they lost their guild, they lost their friends, and it turns them off from the game. So there's even that butterfly effect. And look, if this update goes through, one of two things is going to happen. Either I'm just going to quit the game, and then my guild will collapse. Or if I stick around, I'm still going to lose players, and I'm going to have to go recruit, and there's going to be some other guild that falls apart. I'm going to cause some other guild to collapse. I'm going to go recruit some guild on, server 147, and that guild will die. And I'm tired of that. This is supposed to be a social networking game, but our societies are being torn to pieces because we're cannibalizing each other. We're being forced to cannibalize each other to make up for all the players we lose because of these stupid updates that don't improve the game at all, but simply are greedy money grabs by nexters. All right, so what do we do? Well, I'm going to ask everybody who's watching this video to come join the Hero Wars Players Union. Come find us on Discord. I'll put a link down below. But, they always expire. For those of you who want to quit the game, don't quit yet. Okay? If you're planning to quit the game, if you think you're going to quit the game, come join us here. Let's make a list of thousands of players who are going to quit the game if this update goes through. Also, there's a lot of people who are swearing they're going to stop spending any money at all. The guy that spent £50,000, he said he's not going to spend any more. So we need thousands of players to come over here and agree to not spend any more. So we're going to make a couple of lists. We're going to make a list of people who are going to quit and a list of people who are going to stop spending. And then we can make a third list of people who are going to, they want to wait and see, kind of check it out before they decide. And then those players can, join the quitter list, the quit spenders or the quit playing list. And then, if this update goes through, I'm calling on a general strike of the game. That means no activity, no Titanite, no attacks, nothing. We don't play the game. We only come in for a whole week. A strike for a whole week. And all we do is we come in, we go to our chats, we tell our guild, hey, I'm not playing this week. and we go to our server chat and we tell everybody, hey, join the rebellion. We got to stand against this nonsense. We got to make it stop. Our game is being destroyed by their greed. Let's stop it. After a week, if they have not repealed the update and refunded players who spent money, then we boycott, we strike for a second week. At the end of the second week, that's when we all quit together or pledge to stop spending together. If we have thousands of players that quit, thousands of players that quit spending, well, I think that'll catch Nexter's attention. This is the only way we're going to make them stop exploiting us. So please, come join the Hero Wars Players Union. Stand with us so that we can stop this nonsense. And not just this update, but we got to make them understand no more of these stupid updates that are just money grabs exploiting us. We want updates and the future updates to be things that actually improve the game. Yeah? So please, come join us. Stand with us. Protect your guild by standing with us. Even if you like the update, stand with your guild so that you don't lose players, so that I don't have to come to your server and make your guild collapse by recruiting you. And if it's not me recruiting you, it's going to be one of these other top 50 guilds. There's 100 top 50 guilds out there that can come to your server and kill your guild, right? So if you want to save your guild, join us in stopping the madness.